I know you all know by now that the state of Kogi, Abuja, the flood, as a matter of fact, ravaging our communities. Yes, so much is being said about it, but the part that something is being done is perhaps a lot more aspects of that is what you all want to see. But we do have lots of reports about this, but we'll choose this one and then we'll continue thereafter.
Helpless and homeless, that's what the water stunned them. But today, a visit, not the unexpected flooding, but a high-powered delegation from the nation's capital is what they woke up to.
It is drawing our development back. We should be moving forward. But I thank you very much for coming. With your arrival, I have had a major relief in my blood pressure.
It was a time to see the situation and also drop some words of succor.
What we're experiencing today is simply a force majeure. That is an unforeseen circumstance. Nobody bargained. In the past 100 years, the level of water we have seen these past few weeks have never been seen in the past 100 years. In fact, easily we have had about 2 meters additional height added to the average, the yearly average of the water level in this area. So that is why we believe that it's a national emergency. But having said that, I want to assure Your Excellency that the federal government is with you in this trying period, and we're going to stand with you shoulder to shoulder until this issue is fully resolved.
You would see a difference. But at this juncture, Your Excellency, may I state that environmental issues are very cross-cutting. The realities of our time is that this is an international phenomenon.
What is top on these people's priority, at least for now, is how to deal with the disaster the flooding has left.
I'm confident that in the coming days, proper solutions will be found to help us move forward beyond the immediate crisis we are facing now.
We have a lot of impunity. We do not obey rules guiding the use of the environment. We have seen from the skies layouts that are on floodplains. When we find, and we would succeed, when we find a solution that will be lasting, Your Excellency, states and local governments must wake up to the responsibility of ensuring that they do not give out plots of land on floodplains.
The next few days might be longer than usual for these people at this difficult time, but one can only hope that the damage the cascading of the waters has caused and tears dropped will dry up in no time.
Well, there you have that. Of course, there's a lot more, but that's our focus this morning today on Sunrise Daily, and we're joined from our Abuja studios by Senator Bukola Saraki, who is the chairman, Senate Committee on Environment. Thank you for joining us this morning. Well, for the umpteenth time, this floods ravaging communities, and so much expected from the government, as a matter of fact. But what is the critical thing for you about this scenario?
Well, thank you. I think, first of all, the immediate challenges which has to do with the displacement of close to about 500,000 people in Kogi State, well, particular local government. How do we address their issues? Most of them don't have homes at the moment. Source of livelihood
does no longer exist. And how do we prevent diseases coming up across to this? So the kind of relief that needs to be provided for that, which I think NEMA is doing, but I believe that they don't have enough resources to address that. And we must find a way of kicking in resources available to the states. Because as government, it is our responsibility to provide succor for individuals which of no fault of theirs find themselves in a really serious calamity. So that's the immediate issue. Second is to learn from that and ask ourselves, this is becoming a reoccurrence, and we must act and try and look forward to how do we prevent this, how do we get better prepared for this. What kind of legislations do we have that will assist that? And then thirdly, of course, infrastructure solutions, which already government is doing. The visit of the Minister of Water, Environment and Works, and also going along with MDs of key construction companies in the country, suggests that it is not just a fact-finding visit, but it's a visit supported by action. And they're looking at alternative routes to address that. And the medium to long term is to address how do we prevent this kind of flooding. So those are my thoughts on immediate, short term, and long term. But the immediate issues are really what is important now, because the people of Kogi State, the people of those local governments, we must be able to take care of them. That is what government is there: local government, state, and federal. And they must not be to suffer because any of administrative bottlenecks. Funds must be made available to take care of their issues and their problems.
Well, anyway, we've seen you go around so many communities even before this devastation caused by floods in these states. By now, you must have been talking with NEMA. How well do you know NEMA's capabilities to help in savage situations like this? Because as it is now, we're talking about rescue operations and how well we can relocate those people who have been displaced from such communities.
Well, again, you know what we've seen here in Kogi and some of the few states. It's at a level that we have not seen before. So we must first admit that the level of preparation was not there, but that's not because any direct fault of NEMA's, but because the challenges now are more severe than in the past. And we must admit also the issue of climate change is beginning to affect some of these disasters we are seeing. So particularly it comes at the right time, and as we prepare for 2013 budget, we must look at how we can fund NEMA more than we're doing now, so that they can have the capacity for rescues, they can have the capacity to be to address these disasters. But it is because it is clear that there will be more and more of these kind of floods, and to a certain extent, of course, if you've got flooding, you're going to even get more erosion to follow up. So from that point of view, we need to look at the kind of funding NEMA has got and begin to prepare probably to fund them better than they're already being funded now.
Well, if there's any agency of government that has been speaking up since this flooding occurred, it is NIMET, that's the National Meteorological Agency. They've been saying that they did warn that there were going to be heavy floods this year, heavy rains, unprecedented rains at that. Do you think that as a government and as a people, we prepared ourselves for what we're seeing now?
Well, I think what this particular flood we've seen, I don't think we anticipated that, and I don't think even NEMA really anticipated that. Yes, there are going to be more floods, I agree, but I don't think that what the level I saw in Lokoja yesterday, I don't think anybody really expected that. But be that as it may, I think that what we should do is to learn from it. More importantly is really how do we bring comfort to our people. I think to me that's really the urgent issue now. You have people who've lost their homes, they have no source of income, they don't know how they're going to feed. I think that is really the number one priority now as far as I see. Secondly, as I said, it's coming at the right time. We're preparing for the next year's budget. We should bear that in mind and begin to address that. And also, I think there's some commissions, some legislative, for example, there's the Climate Change Commission that we really need to look at and getting that signed. There's the Ecological Commission bill that is also before us that wants a special commission to address things like erosion and flooding, and to see how we can provide adequate funding for these kind of, to prepare ourselves. Because when you say how do we prepare, you must address the issue of funding and capacity, and those are the issues that we must begin to look at.